Hello YouTubers, today I'm going to show you how to replace the front motor mount on my 85 MR2. This tutorial should be helpful for all AW11 owners. The front mount on my car is 36 years old and in desperate need of a replacement. The rubber is cracked and the engine is sagging. However, I really got to hand it to Toyota because all the mounts in my car are original and it's amazing that they have lasted this long. I'm just so used to German cars where they need their motor mounts replaced around every 10 years. So this is a welcome change. If you'd like to see more MR2 related videos, make sure you hit that like button. Let's get started. The first thing I have to do is properly jack the car so I'll be safe when I'm working under there. I used a hydraulic jack, ramps, jack stands, and wheel chocks to properly lift and secure my car. Once I have the car lifted and secured, I will then place the hydraulic jack under the transmission to support it while I remove the motor mount. It took me longer to properly raise and secure the car than it did for me to replace the front motor mount. That's how easy it is to swap out a front motor mount on an MR2. Here I'm removing the 17mm nut and bolt that secures the engine and transmission to the motor mount. This nut and bolt is only torqued to 58 foot-pounds from the factory, so it should be relatively easy to remove. If it's not, try a little heat and PB blaster to remove yours.
So I got that one loosened up, that 17mm nut and bolt. Now what's left to do is loosen these 14mm bolts. There's two of them, one here, one there, and then the whole motor mount will come out.
Next, I'll remove the two 14mm bolts that fasten the motor mount to the body of the car. These bolts are torqued to 38 foot-pounds from the factory and should be very easy to remove. If you are having trouble removing them, apply a little heat and PB blaster to them. Definitely take your time to carefully remove these bolts. The last thing you want is a broken bolt because that would not be fun.
Then we got to remove this plastic clip, holds these cables in.
This is the front motor mount that I have just removed from my 85 MR2. As you can see, the rubber is in really bad shape and is cracking badly. The reason why I'm replacing the two lower motor mounts is because I think they were the cause of my timing belt failure that happened last year. If you haven't been following my MR2 videos, then let me give you a quick recap. Last year I was driving to work in my MR2 when all of a sudden the engine just died on me. I thought that was weird too because I had just finished performing a major service on the car. So I had the car towed back to my house and immediately started tearing into it. When I removed the upper timing belt cover, I noticed the belt was broken. I thought that was really odd because I had just replaced the timing belt a few years earlier. When I removed the lower timing belt cover, I noticed a broken bolt had wedged itself between the crank pulley and timing belt. Aha! So this is why my belt broke. But where did this broken bolt come from? After doing some digging, I found out the other half of the missing bolt went to the upper engine mount. A MK1 MR2 has 3 motor mounts, 2 lower mounts and 1 upper mount, and this is what I think happened to my car. The engine in a MR2 will sag when the 2 lower engine mounts have failed. When the engine sags like this, it puts a great deal of stress on the upper engine mount. And in my case, that stress was so large that the bolt to the mount had broken and wedged itself between the crank pulley and timing belt, causing the belt to break. Now that the old mount has been removed, it's just a matter of swapping in the new mount and tightening the bolts. First I install the 17mm nut and bolt that fastens the engine and transmission to the motor mount, and then install the two 14mm bolts that fasten the motor mount to the body of the car. I always start each bolt by hand tightening to minimize any chances of cross-threading.
Alright guys, got the front motor mount installed. It was easy peasy. Took me less than 15 minutes to do. So there should be no reason why you guys can't be able to replace this on your own. So basically the next thing I got to do is just torque them down. Got 38 foot-pounds on these two bolts and then 58 foot-pounds on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and torque it down and put the covers back on. Done deal.
I have now replaced both lower engine mounts on my MR2 and the car feels and drives so much better now. I don't feel nearly as much vibration from the cabin and the engine doesn't torque as much as it used to when revving. Replacing both lower mounts on my MR2 took me less than an hour to do and was one of the easiest jobs I've ever done. That's pretty amazing because in most cases, replacing the motor mounts on a car could take days, not minutes. Hopefully this video will give you the confidence to replace the motor mounts in your AW11. Unfortunately, this will probably be my last AW11 repair video. The YouTube community has spoken, and my MR2 videos don't receive nearly the views or likes for me to continue doing them. So I've decided to spend my time making videos on topics that are more popular. If you have any questions or comments about this video, please leave them down below, and I'll do my best to answer them. So long.